Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om, Hari Om. Pranam, Pranam, Pranam.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Pranam. So yesterday we were all trying to have a dip in quest of God, and everybody was able to take one or two gems from it. Immersing ourselves in the text. Now, anyone can bring out any points, and then if any, explanation or anything is to be had, anything new, we will try to share also. Yesterday, if you remember, we had listed about 30 or 34, 31. Many we may get some more also, that is okay. But now we are trying, at the start of this in-depth study yajna, somehow he implanted in us a word called manual. You remember? Whenever we buy an equipment, along with the equipment we are given a manual which gives us how to operate, how to, whenever there is any problem, how to set right. So like that, we are trying to understand that IQG, In Quest of God, is a life manual for us. That means when we complete this, we try to gather as many, what you call, pointers or tools to set right the imbalance of our life. Because ultimately that is the only one which is going to stay with us. The textual knowledge, the textual fact may not stay with us. But this will stay with us. When we are trying to link the gems which we have now brought out, a collective effort, through a collective effort, it can come to stay with us only when it is treated as a tool suggested in the life manual. So that any time somebody says something, somebody is mocking at us, before we are rushing up with our justification or reactions, immediately we look at the bag where we have collected this. Non-violent, non-violently reacting to provocative situations, like that, When we go, so many hurdles come, we take it a positive approach. We remember 6 miles, only 6 miles. So it's not a textual knowledge, we are trying. Our academic No. That which will help us in our daily life. There we may fail, we may forget, like any other tool. We may not know the tool with us, or we may not know how to operate the tool with us. Then we will ask somebody, know how to put this spanner. I am unable to open it. Even when a container is sent with some eatables or something, content. Suppose when you want to open, we may not be able to open. Then we give to somebody to open, who has got a technique of opening it. So like that, our journey will continue. Our journey will continue in accumulating these or modifying these tools. But let us now start treating it as a manual and try to mentally we visualize we have a bag with us, a shoulder bag, where we put this 31, so that whenever we go out in the sense, the life outside, whenever anything is needed, wherever we feel not comfortable, instead of rushing up with our own judgment, there will be a pause moment and then look at the bag, take something and see whether we can give a trial. Without making a trial, we will not get rooted in it. That is also there. An incident comes up in our mind, might have shared with you probably. Early 60s, when we happened to hear Puja Swami Chinmayanandji's lecture for the first time, must have been in 61 or 62. At the end of the yajna, a day prior to that, Swamiji announced that there will be a cover given to you, and you give me that cover, I will give you yajna prasad. The moment we thought, why is he giving a cover? Craving is still there for money. Immediately Swamiji said, I am not worried about the contents of the cover. I am really interested in the container of the cover. Then I looked, there are half a dozen questions. And unknowingly, without applying our mind, we would have ticked one or two. After the yajna over, 10 or 15 days after that, we got a postcard from the mission. Because there we are given the address, asking me to call on them. So there was a tussle in the mind, should go or should not go. Not very much interested, but some interest is there. Finally, I thought, okay, we will go. So the sender of the postcard, Mrs. Leela Nambiyar, who used to take Swamiji daily to the Yajnashala. We still remember, but after that when we met Mataji, we could remember the same face, saintly figure. Exactly, almost like Puja Mataji. So her house was, very posh on those days. I'm talking about 60 years back. So very posh, lawn, security, everything is there. So we went with an unimpressive dress, So the security said, you can't go in. So we told him, we have not come here by ourselves. I showed him the card. You go inside and find out whether they will see us. So immediately he went inside. Amma came. Immediately she said, please come in. Then we were seated in the spacious, drawing room, and asked, yes, what brought you here, young man? Then we said, I did not come by myself, you sent me a card. Oh, right. I don't know how you sent. Then she said, on the last but one day, when you were filling the cover, you must have ticked whether you are interested in monthly satsang, other one was weekly study class. That is why it was sent to you. When you tick, we have to honor. Immediately we remembered, yes. Are you interested in study class? I said, I am not sure. But this is the word, that is why we remembered. You have not attended Swamiji's lecture before, no, but you gave a fair trial. Similarly, you ticked, God prompted you to tick. Why don't you give a fair trial? If you are not comfortable, you can leave it, There is no bondage. That approach. We still remember after all the long period, but still, that approach, it had a wonderful impact in us. Give a fair trial before rushing with the judgment. What can it do? So similarly, when we carry the bag of so many gems which we have got it from plumbing deep within, why not be?
The volume is very low in Google sound.
Volume is very low.
Are you able to hear?
No,
Swamiji.
Are you able to hear clearly?
Clearly we are hearing.
Very good, very good. Okay. No, somebody suggested there could be something. Okay. So before rushing up with our own judgment,
No voice.
we give a fair trial. So the bag which we carry, every time we may forget. That is another exercise we have to do. By the time we reach the end of the year, probably he may give us some clues also how to carry this bag in our mind. So now after 6 months now, in the 6th month, he is slowly making us to understand it as the tools. The 31 tools which we have picked up yesterday. So with that in background, we will try to build up. The first one we said in us, remembering grace factor. How to become aware of grace. God's grace is pouring on all of us. What is the technique by which we become aware? We are not aware now. The sense of individuality owns everything. But going through IQG again and again and again and again, suddenly we realize the first word in the book is that Ram kindled in Ramdas. That means he has become aware of the grace. Now please tell us how to, any thought on that, It was about 2 years ago that Ram first kindled in the heart of his humble slave Ramdas a keen desire to realize his infinite love. Many times, we have read this, but now we know that it is because it was started by him, started by Ram. So the onus is on Ram only. Later on we found that is called reliance on so many things. So the punch is this grace, grace, grace. Now you may kindly tell us how you view it, because we have to become aware of the grace being poured on us. Because of his grace only we are sitting here. Yeah.
Swamiji, we are all connected to our ashram, Papa, Mataji, Swamiji and you. This is our grace, Swamiji.
Yes, then in our daily life, no? Those are all helpful factors, no doubt. We have been drawn by Papa.
Swamiji, by the grace of God, we are remembering God always.
By the grace of God, we are remembering God always. Yes.
Swamiji,
Daily life.
Swamiji, from the morning I get till now, whatever has been happening is by grace, is by His grace. Eating, taking rest, writing Ramnam, chanting slokas, doing puja, all are done by His grace.
Swamiji,
No, 1 minute.
the mere breathing is by His grace. The breathing is by His grace.
Breathing. First one was right from morning till this time. Whatever we were doing, we slowly realized that it is all by His grace only. And then another way is now we are becoming conscious of the breathing slowly. We may forget again. Breathing. The very fact that the breathing is going on uninterruptedly because of that power, because of His grace. Yeah, wonderful. That is very good.
Uninterrupted power supply, UPS.
UPS. He is an uninterrupted power supply. Beautiful word. So I will just make a mention about UPS here so that daily life. We are trying to now link with the daily life. We don't want lectures, we don't want text, we don't want theories. We want tools to handle our life efficiently, harmoniously, peacefully from the clues given to us by through in IQG. This is wonderful.
Forgetting Him also is grace. Forgetting Him also is grace.
Forgetting
Him is also grace.
Remembering Him also is grace only.
Remembering Him is grace, so same way forgetting Him also is grace.
He is only making us to forget, so there is also grace, I am telling you.
in our daily life, does it help us?
No, in daily life, we are not remembering always, so that is also His grace. We are not remembering Him, only sometimes.
No, do you just think in our daily life, while handling challenges, duties and commitments?
It's okay. Sometimes we are getting angry, sometimes some negative thing will come. That is also His grace only.
Is it so?
I think so.
There is a word that might give us some clarity. We commit mistake when we don't remember Him.
Thank you. Thank you. I want from your mouth.
Because sense of individuality either distorts or makes us unaware. That is why remembrance. So when we remember, we won't commit it.
Mataji's one poem, it comes from one poem. This is also
She writes.
one poem, one small poem.
That is when we reach that stage, We have not reached that stage. Even in South, in Quest of God, it is there. Truth is yourself, untruth is yourself. So that is okay. Not for us now. Not for us now. Where is sweetness? It is thee. Where is bitterness? It is thee. Where is happiness? Where is misery? All thee. Where is light? Where is darkness? Where is love? Where is hate? It's nice to remember, but now we are going down to earth. From today onwards, we are trying to see how the IQG tools will help us in handling situation. So first we have taken up this grace. So many points, some more points can come. Please think over. Just like you said, breathing. Let us be specific.
Whatever we are hearing in satsang, we are able to understand because of His grace only.
Yes, surely. He has made our mind receptive. He has made our mind attentive. Yes.
Swamiji, when we drink tea, coffee, water, it is getting swallowed. We are not doing anything. That swallowing is also not our work.
Okay.
Miracles happen. This is great.
From the bounteous gifts, so many things we have been provided for our
Countless.
Boundless, all are provided.
For example, let us be specific, so that it will remain in our mind.
Serving Guru is great.
Now, 1 minute. Supriya ji, you said, that's a wonderful thing. Whatever we handle, it should remind us of this grace. So be specific.
Swamiji, when we consciously do anything, like if we are cutting vegetables also, when we start becoming aware that we are cutting it, we start being able to see that it's just automatically happening perfectly.
I couldn't follow.
Yeah, when she's cutting vegetables also.
When we cut vegetables,
Consciously doing it.
if we consciously do it,
Perfectly happening.
So we are watching, it is happening.
Perfectly.
how does the grace come?
So because of the grace, we realize that, so He is making us cut. We start realizing.
So that means can we take it when we knowingly do, when we consciously do, when we do wholesoully, it is an expression of grace. Okay? Is that so?
Yes, Swamiji.
Making us watch what we are doing.
Or looking at it, or watching it.
It results in perfection also,
Consciously doing perfection.
Good. So we are tutoring, our own mind now. We were taking it as granted, perfection. But now we know that when we know knowingly doing something, attentively doing something, consciously doing something, applying our whole soul, that means we have become the recipient of the grace. We know that we have become the recipient of the grace. Okay. When we know breathing is going on, breathing is more acceptable because there we are not doing anything. The sense of individuality is not doing anything. Whereas without breathing, the sense of individuality cannot exist also. Think about it. And then?
Say, what about digestion and all going on? Digestion, so many things are going inside the body.
Yes.
That is also His grace only.
Yeah.
Not only food.
Yes.
Blood circulation, Swamiji. Blood circulation.
Blood circulation, yes. So we have to keep on remembering these: blood circulation, heartbeat, breathing, digestion. Goes on. Whenever we get any pause moments, we must contemplate upon this. Otherwise, it becomes academical again. When we breathe, when we do that, suppose.
Auntie wants to say acceptance. She wants to say we are able to accept His ways.
Acceptance of?
Anything accept, anything is because of His grace, otherwise we won't be able to accept.
Accepting everything. Accepting everything is.
No, but sometimes we'll accept it more cheerfully. Not immediately, sometimes.
Swamiji, immediately we may not accept willingly, but after some time we get used to
She's
it.
saying in her example, a lady has been appointed for her and she's able to accept it.
One lady is appointed with her, no? So she's taking care of. So slowly acceptance is coming. So because of
Swamiji.
His grace.
Swamiji.
Yes, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Outside, whatever is happening, by wind blows, so many things are happening, rain, that's also His grace, it is told. Not only inside body, outside also.
Wind
Rain
blowing.
coming, wind
Yeah,
blows.
that is. No, we would like something that is directly connected with our life, because please ensure that it doesn't become an academic exercise, We need some clues to interpret. This is grace. And that clue should be such that it is implemented by us, it is actualized by us in our daily life.
Right.
This is the toughest.
We cannot breathe without air, without sunlight we cannot live. That's also His grace only.
No, we are not here for argument, We are trying to understand whether whether these things are becoming every day. Can we remember this?
Every day is happening. That's why I'm telling. I'm not arguing. Every day we are seeing sunlight, wind blows. I'm not arguing with you. I'm sharing my
Okay.
Swamiji,
I am arguing
but
with
the
you.
other day I got hurt on my eye. At that time I realized I got the pain and I just thought I don't know what's going to happen after I open my eye and I could see. That time I thought it's His grace that we can see. We may have eyes, but it's not necessary we can see. So the sight also is His grace.
All our sense organs. Why I don't?
All our
All our sense
sense organs.
organs are. So far, we were not applying our mind. We were taking everything as granted. But now, when I look at it, when I hear something, when I taste something, when I touch something, suddenly I start realizing there is a power behind this. And that is grace. Is that right? Because it should go deep down within us. That is very important.
Swamiji, every day I'm getting up after night, every morning we are getting up and sit for meditation, thinking of purpose after meditation. This is His grace. Getting up in the morning, it is His grace. We are not எழுந்துக்கிறோமே.
Even getting up in the morning is by His grace.
Yeah, Swamiji, then
Because we have no control over the sleep. So when should we get up? It is not in our hand.
எனக்கு தினம் தோணும் எனக்கு ஒரு நாள் கொடுத்துருக்கேன்.
No, you are right.
நினைச்சுப்பேன். அப்புறம் மெடிடேஷனுக்கு உட்கார்றது. Swamiji, I don't know whether right.
பார்க்குறோம்.
எனக்கு எப்படி போறது?
I get இதெல்லாம் we are trying to churn, We are doing the churning so that it becomes a part of our life.
Swamiji,
Swamiji.
it is only by His grace that He has remembered us first, so that we are made to hear about Him, to remember Him, and hear His attributes, His Leela, importance of going towards Him. It's only His grace that He has remembered us first, so that we can remember Him.
Remember me first.
That is the truth. But whether it comes from our bottom of the heart or we have got another risk now, We have got rather we have heard so many things. We have read so many things. The mind has got a tendency to keep it as a knowledge. Now we want to make it as an applied knowledge. Otherwise, what happens is, in Malayalam we say Ellum Pachari. So when you have raw rice, white rice, and sesame, it will never become one. The other one is black, this is white. So similarly, we are trying to understand, mind has understood so many things. But when it comes to our life's activity, applied science, applied application level, whether, how can we convert this knowledge into an applied knowledge? This is the struggle we are having now. So yeah, whatever you say, everything is right. But is it from the knowledge level or from the applied knowledge level? That is what is important. Ultimately, everything happens only by His will and therefore by His grace. But we have not understood, our sense of individuality is too strong. So here is now an opportunity given to us by God to bring in His relevance in all that we think, in all that we talk, in all that we do. So how to make it? It is true only.
ஒரு டஃப் சுச்சுவேஷன் வரும்போதும் அப்பாவோட கிரேஸில் அப்பாவோட ஞாபகம் வருது. ராம் தான் இதை வந்து வர வச்சிருக்காருன்னு. ஆனால் கூடவே ஒரு பயமும் இருக்கு. அப்போ ராமும் கூட இருக்காரு, ஆனால் பயமும் கூட இருக்கு. அப்போ கிரேஸ் அது 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 என்னன்னா, அது என்ன அது ஃபுல் ஃபெய்த் மேல ஷேக்கிங்கா இருக்கா, இல்ல அது என்னன்னு புரிய மாட்டேங்குது.
ஸ்டெபிலைஸ் ஆகலேன்னு நினைக்கலாம். ஸ்டெபிலைஸ் ஆனால் அந்த இன்செக்யூரிட்டி வில் நாட் பி ஃபெல்ட் இல்லையா?
ஆனா அந்த டஃப் சிச்சுவேஷன்ல எனக்கு அந்த அவரோட நினைப்பு வந்ததே ஒரு கிரேஸ் தான். ஃபுல் டைம் அவரோட நினைப்போட தான் நான் அது இருக்கிறதுக்கு முடிஞ்சது. ஆனா கூடவும் ஒரு அந்த பயமும் கூட இருக்கு. அதுதான்.
But IQG teaches us that you remember that when Papa was collecting footsteps for the first time, he had no idea why he was prompted to go. And when he came back with the rice and all those things, somebody called him for food. At that time he saw an old person was standing before a door, and then he called him and gave him. So he prostrated, "You are God," no, he said. You remember that incident? So till such time the individuality was playing, but in his heart he has got faith in God. So then that is why he could connect up, because he did not praise Papa individually. Thank you very much for your timely help. This is what we say, you know. But he did not say that. You are God. I was praying to God, and now you have come, so you are God. So this is what we say from knowledge level to the applied knowledge. Nobody told him to bring the word God. No? Normally our reactions will be, "Thank you very much, so kind of you, so nice of you. We were in deep distress, you came and helped us." It will all be centered to the individual to individual. But there he said, "You are God." So can we link it with the grace?
Swamiji, one doubt. Is there any difference between Papa's grace and Mataji's grace?
All are same, you know.
Because here, for instance, he says, Papa used to only observe the sadhaka. But in the case of Mataji, it was not so. Mataji, noticing any slip, would immediately try to correct the sadhaka and put him on the right path. She always found that this way of doing things was not at all bringing favorable results. Papa would tell her that she should allow the sadhakas to go through their own way until they realize for themselves that they were going on the wrong path and correct themselves. அதனால தான் கேட்குறேன். ஸோ இது லாங் ரோப் கொடுக்குறாரு. மாதாஜி உடனே கட் பண்றாங்க.
But Papa used to say, everything has got a time. And Mataji, that is because, Mataji, even after scaling the heights and accepting that God will do everything at his say, she was still the mother of everybody. And the anxiety Mataji realization only, but that anxiety is there, she comes down to the level of an earthly mother. And that is expressed in the form of tough postures from her.
Swamiji,
Ah.
அதாவது நம்ம லைஃப்ல பார்த்துருக்கோம், சில விஷயங்கள்லாம் நடக்காதோ அப்படியோ எப்படி ரொம்ப மண்டே ஒத்துட்டு ஆங்ஷியஸா இருப்போம். ஆனா எப்படியோ அதெல்லாம் நடந்து போகும். அப்போ வில் ஃபீல் இஸ் கிரேஸ். இஸ் கிரேஸ் வாஸ் அ திங். happened. You'll be very anxious. எப்படி how things will be going.
That is another way of recognizing the grace, alva. But at that particular, okay. That is also good. That is also an applied knowledge. பகவானோட அனுகிரகத்தினால அன்னைக்கு எப்படி ஆகுமோ தெரியாது, ஆனால் இப்போ ஆயிடுச்சு அப்படி சொல்லுவோமே. Yeah, you are right. Then, if this grace becomes very, very clear to us, and if it is brought down to applied knowledge, 75% of our success has come to us. So this is the most important point. How do we become aware of the gaze?
Swamiji, example I will tell you. Small example in our life. I will tell Kishava, you will not get auto to go to Ashram. How? Kishava will say, I have always positive thinking. Don't think like that. After somewhere there, some place, water will come pick it up. Look, just a small example only, but you feel is crazy looking.
Even a trifle incident.
Yes.
He say, no. We have to start. You have to always remind like this only. Nothing wrong in it. It is not a small incident. It is a good incident for us.
Many times happened.
Yeah, right.
Kishava will say,
Swamiji, the governance of the country itself is happening by His grace.
Quite right.
Swamiji, என்னோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸில் ஒரு 4 நாள் முன்னாடி ரொம்ப தூக்கத்தில் கனவுல மருந்து சாப்பிட்டாலும் தெரியல, ரொம்ப அகோரமான கனவு. சாகர மாதிரி ஆணையும் சிங்கம் டைகம் எல்லாம் நரகத்தில் போனால் எப்படி இருக்கும் அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அனுபவம் பார்த்து பயந்து நடுக்கிற சமைச்சு எனக்கு என்ன செய்யணும் தெரியல. 6 இல்லை கிட்டக்க நான் ஒண்டியா இருக்கேன். அப்புறமா கண்ணை மூடிட்டு எனக்கு தெரியாம என் வாயிலேருந்து அப்பா மாதாஜியே கத்தினே. கண்ணை திறந்து பார்த்தா ஒன்றும் இல்லை. சாந்தி ஆயிடுச்சு. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். ஒன்றும் நடக்காததுல எல்லாம் நடந்துச்சு. பயம் ஓடியே போயிடுச்சு. இந்த கூப்பிட்டு எப்படி என்ன உள்ள அப்படியே இருக்கும், அப்பா காப்பாத்தினாருங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபீலிங்ஸ் என்னோட இதுல லைஃப்ல.
அச்சா, குட். Somebody wanted to say, something on grace?
Swamiji, that you became all right and you are with us and teaching us, isn't that a biggest grace for us? Yes.
Everything is.
Kishava பேசுறது கேட்டுதா சாமிஜி? Kishava பேசுறது கேட்டுதா?
கேட்டுது.
கேட்டுதா?
கேட்டுது. அதுவும் அவருடைய கிரேஸ். அவருடைய கிரேஸ் இருக்குன்னு புரிய வைக்கிறதுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் கொடுத்தார். Quite right. So now we slowly make an effort. That means we are trying now, to bring it down to the applied level. Anything else? Because this is very important. This aspect is very, very important. Papa, IQJ, the common thread is this. Rest of the things are only an explanation. The only thing is that he is always blessed with grace, so we should become aware of the grace. If we go through rest of the 30 points, it is all an appendage to this grace only. Because this is the crucial, pivotal. Vandi odanamna idu venam. Normally you say, when the chariot is drawn, the axle. If that is not there, the wheel will not move. You remember Ramayana incident, Kaigeyi, she helped Dasharatha, and that is why 3 boons were given. Anytime you want, you can ask. So that means that if it has to go, she gave her hand. What is it called? Axle, nane? Axilla? Axle pin. Yeah. So the grace is something like that. If this grace is understood properly, and if we all of us make an effort to see the play of grace right from the minutest to the grossest, 75% of our success has come to us. Rest of the things are also necessary, but this is the main thing. I should become aware, because what is preventing me is this me and mine. Here I am trying to accept. When I do the breathing, I may not knowingly breathe, but whenever God blesses me to think about it, and when I think about breathing, one stroke we have done, no? Like that, so many strokes when we keep on hammering. Probably we might be able to move towards the remembrance of grace for a larger part of our waking time. It's a tough job. Movie maker, video editor, what is this? Somebody. Yes, anything else? Grace. Grace to now, we are clear now. Grace, we are trying to understand from the knowledge level to the applied knowledge level.
Swamiji,
Ah.
as a homemaker and advancing in age, we tend to forget many things. வீட்டில் வேலை பண்ணுறச்சில பட் இப்போ பப்பா மேக்ஸ் அஸ் ரிமெம்பர் இட் இஸ் ஹிஸ் கிரேஸ் சுவாமிஜி. அந்த லைட்டு மைக்ரோவேவ் ஆஃப் பண்ணப்போம், ஏதோ ஒன்றுக்கு உள்ள போவோம், எதுக்கு போக வேண்டியே இருக்காது. பட் இட் இஸ் ஹிஸ் கிரேஸ் தட் ஹி மேக்ஸ் மீ கோ டு தட் ரூம் அண்ட் ஃபினிஷ் தட் மறந்து போன ஜாபை முடிக்க வைக்கிறாரு. அப்படி தினம் எனக்கு பப்பா எப்படியோ கூட கூட வந்து எனக்கு ஞாபகப்படுத்திட்டே இருக்காரு.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, very good.
நம்ம லைஃப்ல அந்த நிறைய நம்ம லைஃப்ல
அட்வான்ஸ் சிச்சுவேஷன் வரதுல மனசு கொஞ்சம் தடுமாறுறது, அதுக்கு என்ன பண்றது?
ப்ரே பண்ணுறது தான், வேறு என்ன வழி? ப்ரே பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும். ப்ரே பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும் நம்ம. பின்ன ஒரு
ஜெபிச்சா கூடியும் மனசுல ஒரு கலக்கம், அந்த மாதிரி அது என்ன தெரியும், அது ஓவர் கம் பண்றது தான் எப்படின்னு தெரியல.
ஒரு சஜஷன் என்ன தோணுறதுன்னா, one suggestion is that along with our effort to recognize the grace factor, we try to draft a prayer of our own in our own words. It is an actual exercise. And you will see miraculously or mysteriously, you will find the appropriate word to express the feelings that well up in your heart. Then you start thinking where from it came. Because that is something, an exercise which we are doing it by ourselves, not based upon any knowledge, but purely based upon our deep devotion to God, and we draft. Nowadays we are reading the prayers of another person, maybe a Mahatma. Doesn't matter. Initially we need the clue how to pray. So Papa has written universal prayer. But now we know we have been repeating it, but it has not left any deep impression in our thought, word and deed. So now the alternative, suddenly we realize Papa did not borrow any prayer from anybody. It was an outpouring from his heart. Similarly, every one of us, in our own way, we try to draft a 4-line prayer or a 5-line prayer or a 2-line prayer. Then you sit and watch how it has come. This is a suggestion, no? How to bring it from the knowledge level to an applied knowledge level.
Swamiji.
Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji. Swamiji. Actually, in the morning, prayer I thought came my mind, Swamiji. Outpouring. Papa said, please crush my ego, Ram. Please crush my ego. இது வந்துட்டே இருந்தது. அதாவது எல்லா ப்ராப்ளம் ஈகோவுக்கு ஆன்சர்னால எல்லா ப்ராப்ளம். ஸோ இட் வாஸ் கிவிங் லாட் ஆஃப் ரிலீஃப் மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு சார். அந்த அவுட் போரிங்ல அந்த ஒரு வேர்டு வண்டர்ஃபுல் சொல்லி மனசில் பட்டது. அந்த அப்படி சம்திங் அது ப்ரேயர் டைம்ல. வெரி குட், வெரி குட்.
Swamiji, lectures of Swami Ramadas, volume 2, merit or grace, Swamiji கேட்கிறேன். Is it by merit that we get the grace of God? God's grace comes without our deserving it. We cannot get grace by virtue of our so-called merit. What sinners have received grace and become pure and glorious. Valmiki, for instance. Yeah.
That is right. We are now trying. We are trying now in our own way how to become aware of the grace. Please. We try to become. அதெல்லாம் டிஸ்கஷனில் வருது இல்லையா? Now we have come to the stage where we are trying to become aware of His grace, where we don't want the intellect to play its role. So we now try, right from small incidents to the gross level, we try to become aware of His grace. And many suggestions have come, practical, very practical. Now when we, during our waking time, there may be at least a few minutes when we become conscious of our breathing, conscious of our heartbeat, may not be conscious of our blood circulation because it doesn't give us any sensitivity, or it may give us, or whenever we find there is some problem with our stomach, Madhya Pradesh, then we say we don't recognize that digestion goes on by His grace, but probably it might lead us to. Andamadri, let us try now. Here we will say, borrowing Papa's words, we will not be guided by any other external factors.
Papa himself has said that what sinners even can get them in service.
No, for the time being, we will keep away Papa's words. For the time being. And we are trying to find out our own method. Each one's method. We are slowly trying to realize through IQG that he was relying solely on the internal reality, So that aspect we have not given some importance. So far we have been only looking up to the teachings of various people, including Papa. Papa himself says ultimately you have to rely on yourself. So that aspect we are trying now. It may be a tough job, but it is tried. But it has to be tried. He tried, he was able to get it. So we will now try in our own way. That is why we suggested, as a first step, we draft our own prayer. Tomorrow, by the time we meet here in the same day, all of us will try to draft in our own language, whatever we feel like talking to him. So that means that there is an attempt, and we will find for ourselves how mysteriously the expression came from the feeling level to a prayer level. After all, feeling is now put it in the form of a word. But so that means feeling is an expression of God. So see, we try to understand, we try to we honestly pray to him. Without you, I have been told by my master that without you, I don't exist. You are there everywhere. Without your presence in everything, inside and outside, I don't exist. I am 100% convinced about it intellectually. So, but to make it a reality in my life, please help us. Just for the sake of
Guru and God are one. Therefore, God's grace flows through Guru only.
So we will now try through one of the prayers,
Yes.
One prayer, Oh, yeah, already. Okay.
Swamiji. I will finish. Swamiji. அம்மா வந்து எனக்கு சின்ன வயசுல சொல்லி கொடுத்து பகவானே காப்பாத்துங்கிறது அது நல்ல ஸ்ட்ராங்கா மனசுல பட்டுக்கு சாமி. நான் என்ன வேண்டிக்குது, பகவானே காப்பாத்து, பொறுக்கைக்குள்ள எனக்கு காப்பாத்து அப்படின்னு நேச்சுரலா இருக்கு. இது ஒரு சிம்பிளாக இருக்கு பேர். சரிதானே சாமிஜி?
Oh, anything that is okay for you, but it should come in your own way.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This day is almost gone. Prayer card. Where is that the ego born out of me?
Swamiji.
No.
Now, இப்பதான் தெரியுது. பப்பா தெரியறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே பப்பா எப்படியோ எங்களுக்கு வந்து அவர கிரேஸ் கொடுத்து so many ways.
ஆமாம்.
சுவாமிஜி டைலாக்கும் பண்றோம் பப்பா கிட்ட, அதுதானே நீங்க பிரேயர் சொல்றீங்க.
ஆமாம். In our own words. ஆமாம்.
நம்மளுக்கு தெரியாமையே பப்பா வந்து நம்மளுக்கு வந்திருக்காரு, நிறைய ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. இப்பதான் அது புரியுது, தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு தெரியுது. அதான் it is his grace, Swamiji. In so many ways it came in our life. In various forms he comes and helps us. It is his grace, and தினம் அதை சொல்றோம், பப்பா நீங்க தான் எங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ண மனப்பூர்வமா. Heart of bottom of our heart we are seeing that, Swamiji. Feeling also, feeling is very important.
Please think about it, and when you are trying to sit and draft a prayer, a 4-line prayer, you will see so many things happening. If you think you are drafting, you will not get any words. Mysteriously, he will come and give you some words. How it comes, then we try to understand. Where from it came? If we are reproducing the words of others, it is from the mind. But if it is original, we are now trying slowly, to understand that everything should be original. And the original comes from His grace. So first step is a prayer. Then whatever we have now, whatever people have contributed in the form of breathing, in the form of anything that we do right from morning till evening, how many times we are able to maintain this. And that is why if Ramnam becomes constant with us, the fusion takes place often. Otherwise, due to our preoccupations or our old habits, we may forget the role of the relevance of grace. So now with that background, we chant Ramnam. Silent. Nobody need know that we are chanting Ramnam. But Ramnam does help us. Yesterday we received an email. Can you open the email? Huh?
Yes. You are connected to the net.
I will just read out the email, some food for thought. Kabir Das sang, Moko kahan dundere bande, meaning, where all are you searching for me? Where all of you are searching for me? I am ever near you. I am not in temples, mosques, churches, nor am I in your sacrificial offerings, your tapas, etc. I am indeed in your faith. Will such a benevolent God ever desert us? We remember the story of Ratnakar, the dacoit, whose very life was transformed and he became the famous Valmiki when he took to the chanting of God's name, even in the reverse order as Maramara instead of Rama. We have also heard the story of how a seeker of God literally pestered his Guru for initiation. How in frustration the Guru advised him to chant the random word Pesil, and how the disciple religiously and sincerely went about chanting the same with implicit faith and ultimately attained his goal. Once the goal is attained, there is only peace, peace, peace everywhere. There are many such instances to relate, but hesitating due to space constraints. However, the message is the same. Man's ultimate aim in life is to attain abiding peace. This peace is the natural state of everyone's being. The pure mind gets covered by impurities known as 6 enemies like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Once these enemies are destroyed, the original peaceful state will be regained. Remembrance of God or even His all-powerful name is the method prescribed for cleansing the mind of these impurities. What is this peace? Peace is merely a state of mind. One can condition the mind to remain at peace even in extremely compelling situation. The key to such peace is the cheerful acceptance of every event, individual and situation with perfect equanimity. It is often quoted that we are born with nothing and we also leave the world with nothing. The truth is that we bring with us a baggage consisting the effects of our good and bad deeds from previous births. In fact, our very birth itself is caused only to work out these effects. In short, our life is nothing but a chip-driven automatic machine in which we play no role other than a mute witness. The baggage follows wherever we go. If some unacceptable events confront us, we have to boldly and carefully face them and get over them. Running away from them is not the answer, because the problem is not outside of us, but very much with us in our baggage. The baggage follows us always. Then how can we overcome the problem? The answer is in his declaration. Manasam vachikam pabam, karmana samuvarjitam, Srirama smaraneneva vyapohati nasamsheha. The meaning is unfavorable effects of thought, word and deed disappear by the mere remembrance of Ram, no doubt about it. Where there is a need to worry, where then is the need to worry? Be firm in the conviction that is the power of his divine name is our sure protection. Faith works wonders. So ultimately we have now come to the conclusion that if we have to remember the grace, we must remember him. And if the easy one to remember him is to chant his name. So now Ramnam goes on in our mind with that background, so that it becomes more and more effective. Ramnam will ultimately give us what is needed for us at every moment of our life. And the moment we chant Ramnam, we become aware of his grace. Our mind is not playing anything, because he is making us to chant. That also we should tutor. Otherwise, Papa said, 100 years, even if you chant, nothing will happen. But the moment we think even the chanting is done because of him, then the effect comes. Then only the grace plays its part. Otherwise, we may be chanting for years together, but not going nearer to the goal. All these thoughts may be in our mind, and tomorrow when we meet, we will make the first trial of making a small prayer. All of us must try, please. Don't worry about the wording, and we need not say it to everybody, but all of you, we would like to know the experience you had while going through that. It is an individual exercise. When we go through the poems of Papa, he was bubbling with joy, and the bubbling with joy came out in those words, Not that we want to read that poem and enjoy. No doubt we enjoy certain poems. But ultimately in our heart we also feel we should be able to also bring it out in our own way, for which we cannot do it. If it was possible, we would have drafted. And the clues have been given through the Mahatmas. So with that background, we will try tomorrow to make the grace from the knowledge level to applied knowledge level. Is that clear to everybody? Mic is not working, but they will be hearing?
From YouTube, yes.
Huh?
They are hearing something.
Hearing.
Yes, it has come back.
Okay then, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.